Hey friends, it's Marie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be playing with these Nuvo Embellishment Mousses, or mousse, or mise. I don't know. What is the plural of mousse? Anyway, I'm going to be playing with this mousse and I'm showing you the two colors that I have here. I've got this red, and this is from the Merry and Bright trend, and then the pink is actually from the Blue Blossom trend coming in September, and I am in love with that trend. It's got all the colors that are basically my favorite and all the pretty things, so you might be seeing a lot of that coming up from me on my channel. Otherwise, I'm gonna just share how to make a simple ombre blended background with these mousses. So what you want to do is, what I'm doing here is taking some of this mousse with my spatula onto my craft mat, and I am just kind of working with it to get it to soften up a little bit. Sometimes when you take it straight out of the jar, it feels or seems like it should feel a little crumbly or chunky, but if you work with it a little bit, it gets a little bit smoother. So I just kind of mash it up a little bit, and then it's able to kind of be a little bit more creamy of a consistency, and I can work with it a little easier. I'm also taking one of these Nuvo brushes. This is the two-ended bristle brush kind of thing, and I love it for this technique because you can use one end for one color and then just flip it around and use the other end for the other color and get a nice mousse blend on your cardstock. So I'm just using regular cardstock, getting a little bit of this color on my brush and brushing it onto my cardstock. When I switched to my colors, I went ahead and I cleaned up my craft space, cleaned up my palette knife. I even rinsed my brush under some water until it ran clean to get that color out of there. And I'm using the other side of my brush to apply my pink, coming in from the other side and then just kind of overlapping these backgrounds a little bit, these colors, to get sort of an ombre look. I'm going from pink into red, and you can see how gorgeous this looks. I did have to remove a hair from my brush. It kind of got stuck in there, so that does happen, but just watch for it and remove it if one falls off. But you can see how gorgeous this looks. It's got this shine to it, almost a metallic kind of finish, and it's really, I don't know, I just love these mousse. I almost want to eat them because, you know, it makes me think of chocolate mousse, but I don't think I'd recommend eating it. Anyway, we're getting off topic. After I've got this background blended with this mousse, I'm going to add some glitter paste, and this is also from the Blue Blossom trend coming in September. I couldn't wait to dig into it, so I'm already like pulling out those supplies. But I'm going to apply this over a Altenew stencil. Now this stencil you can layer, so you can use the big stars with one color, flip it, and then layer the small stars on top. I'm just using the tiny stars. I just wanted some little twinkly little stars in the background, and I'm doing pink on pink. This is a very tone on tone card. It kind of ended up making me think of Valentine's Day when I was done. I don't know. You guys tell me, is this Valentine's Day or is this just a fun pink card? Don't know. Anyway, so it doesn't really take all that long for the mousse to dry, and even the glitter paste to dry if you add a small amount. So after my background was dry, I grabbed this die from Tonic. It cuts out the shadow piece and the sentiment piece. So I cut those both out. I cut the shadow with a piece of sort of parchment kind of paper. It's a little bit thicker than vellum, but it's kind of the same material. And I used some of this glitter cardstock from Tonic, a nice red color, and I'm just going to glue those together using my deluxe glue. So this glue is really great for these small die cuts. You can just add a little tiny dab to the back of your die cut, or you could even get one of those fine tip applicators if you wanted to use a bottle with one of those. I do know that Nuvo also has glue pens that you can add to really tiny die cuts, and those are really handy as well. But as long as you don't use a whole lot of glue from your bottle, you should be fine applying it. So once I've had my glue on the back of my sentiment, I'm laying it up with that shadow piece and just sticking it down. It doesn't take all that long for this deluxe glue to dry. It gives you a little bit of wiggle room, but honestly, if you hold it down for a second or two, it's gonna stick really well. So I have that sentiment stuck on there. I'm going to go ahead and just arrange it on my card and then glue that down as well, again using my Nuvo Deluxe glue. So I'm just kind of scribbling some glue on the background here. I know with vellum you can kind of see the adhesive through it. This parchment's a little bit thicker, so I don't really have that problem. I just kind of tried to scribble it on the back of the words to kind of hide it a little bit, but I didn't see any glue leaking out anyway, so all was okay. So I'm just kind of pressing that down with my fingers, getting that glue to stick, and I'm going to flip over this card panel and trim off those edges to kind of make it just flush with the edge. Now there was one side that kept kind of coming up, so I had to add just a little bit more glue, and I just did that by peeling back that sentiment piece, adding a little dab of glue there, and just holding it down with my fingers until it was stuck. So moving on, I could not decide what to mount this on. I wanted to go ahead at first with this shiny foiled striped craft kind of paper from Tonic. I think it looks really good, and almost wish I would have went with that now. Now looking at it on video, I kind of really love it. I tried the red as well. I thought maybe it would go with that red from the sentiment, but I didn't really love it, so I thought, well, let's get some of that parchment paper, put that behind, and see if adding a little matted layer would help, and I wasn't in love with that either. So I kind of scrapped those ideas and I just went with a plain white card base, which I absolutely love, but honestly now looking back at that striped cardstock, I kind of wish I would have went with that. Anyway, you guys let me know in the comments, which background did you like? What would you put this card on? There's so many different options, so many things you can do. I went with the plain white cardstock to kind of not make it so busy, but I also love those stripes. So I don't know. You guys tell me what your number one pick would be. So I'm just going to add this on my cardstock, my card base, with a little bit of foam adhesive, and that pretty much finishes the card. Super simple, super easy to just blend some of these mousses or mices together to create an ombre background. So thanks for stopping by. I hope this gives you some inspiration and ideas. If you liked it, don't forget to click the thumbs up, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, comment, share, do all the things. I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.